So I had the newspaper. I kept holding it up, and one of the Secret Service people took the newspaper and took it back to him and came back out and told me that, yes, I could come back and meet him. And when I got to speak with him, I told him, he gave me a hug, and I said, I want to thank you for doing something that was not politically correct, but morally right.
Welcome to Creepalachia. We have an outside the box episode today. A very nice lady named Loretta Liegel gave me a email or message. I can't remember how we reached out a couple months ago, but you've been pardoned by the president.
Yes.
Which is so intriguing to me, and I appreciate you being here to share this. And I'm gonna break a rule. Swing that mic over to your mouth a little bit shorter. There we go. All right, perfect. So tell me about yourself, where you grew up, and let's kind of walk into it.
Okay. I'm originally from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's a small town in eastern Pennsylvania, about an hour from Philadelphia. Grew up, raised there, one of 5 children. Unique story. I've actually written a book about this.
Yep, I've got it. It's called God is Love, Life Beyond Bars by Loretta Liegel.
So I talk about my childhood in that book and things I've experienced and gone through, and a lot of tragedy in my life and a lot of struggle, trying to find my way in life, as we all do, try to find our way. So what happened is I was a little bit rebellious as a teenager due to some of the things I went through. Actually, today is the 14th, which is the anniversary of home fire that happened when I was 15 years old, where my youngest sister lost her life.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so that tragedy tore our dysfunctional family totally apart and probably started my road of a little bit of rebellion.
Sure.
And struggle.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, well, this is a somber day all around. This is also the anniversary of the Marshall University plane crash.
Is it really?
Yeah. So awful. 75 people lost. But all right. So you start kind of, when you're younger, you start rebelling. What do you mean by that? Like, what certain ways would you start to act out?
Rebelling in a way, when that fire occurred, when my sister lost her life, she was mentally challenged. She had an inoperable brain tumor and she was 12 years old.
Oh.
And when that happened, I was so angry with God and asking why, she was already doomed in her life, mentally challenged, couldn't live a life like a normal kid. And her life expectancy was already going to be short because of that brain tumor. And then to die in that tragic way, for that tragedy to happen in our life, our whole family tore apart, which was hanging by threads anyway. It just made me very angry and very rebellious. And so skipping school, running away from home, arguing with my mom, things like that. And getting into relationships that weren't really positive relationships for me. Mm-hmm. And abusive relationships too. So due to that, I got in a relationship with someone who had a drug problem. And sometimes our loyalties are misplaced and we stay in relationships longer than we should. And that's kind of what happened. And so I left that relationship, and because of the things that occurred there, I ended up getting a conspiracy charge, which I was offered immunity, to testify against people, but I left that relationship. There was nobody I'm going to testify against or know things about. But anyway, excuse me. What happened was I went to trial and I ended up with a 20-year prison sentence. And
so a conspiracy charge, what exactly
conspiracy
occurred?
To manufacture drugs. And there was a movie made about my story, mine and another lady, Dorothy Gaines. We gave her information, and the movie's called Guilt by Association.
Yeah, okay.
And
Rachel McAdams?
No.
Or who is it?
Mercedes Rule starred in it.
Gotcha.
And the FEM organization is an organization.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams. Says Rachel McAdams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm sorry.
No,
Rachel McAdams.
Hey, we got to give her a shout out. I know she listens to the show. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So in the federal system, you do not have to commit an overt act. Mere knowledge infers guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So could have, should have, knew, did not tell. You're just as accountable as the kingpin, who would say the kingpin's up here. Say we're going to roll the dominoes. The kingpin's up here. You're the girlfriend. You're the minor person. The kingpin gets caught. He tells on somebody else. He tells on somebody else. It's like the dominoes. And he gets a lighter sentence. So the most culpable is held the least accountable. When you get down to the girlfriend or, the most minimum participant, that person is going to do the most time because you have no bargaining chips. Who are you going to tell on? What are you going to?
Well, the person you could tell on's already caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know them. Or you weren't there with what they were doing. So what are you going to tell?
Right. Was it like a RICO thing? Because they have this RICO Act where they took down the mafia and they kind of take down this whole network.
Organization.
Whole organization. That kind of sounds like a little bit what it may have been.
Yeah.
But, wow. So you're just... what your specific involvement in? So I'm assuming that there was, it was a drug kingpin and there was a lot of, and things going on.
Yeah. So not him, but the lower person, an ex, who had a drug problem and got caught up in this, and me staying with him, knowing he had a drug problem, hoping that, I could stop him, change him, but I couldn't.
Oh, really? You never had like a drug issue?
My problem wasn't a drug issue. My problem was loving that man.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
And so that was the problem. And when I did leave, he ended up getting arrested. And then later on down the road, they came to me. Feds came to me.
Did he turn on you?
No.
Really?
No. It was one lady, I babysat her baby when he went out, I guess, with her to do whatever they did. And it was a couple other people that he knew. Yes, she knew what we're doing. Here's the thing. The phone rings. We're living together, him and I answer the phone. They say, "Hey, is Mark there?" "Hey, Mark, it's for you." I give him the phone. Guess what? That's delivering a message.
Wow. That's terrifying.
It is
to think about it. Yeah. Well, I mean, and obviously you lived it.
Yeah. Did I know what he was doing? Yes, I did. Right. Not everything. But did I know? Yeah, some of it. Did I want to get out of there? Heck yeah. And I did get out of there. I made the decision to leave him. Did I love him at the time? Yeah, I did. Because he helped me get out of a very abusive relationship. So I felt a real loyalty to him.
Sure.
And he had a wonderful family, which I'm still in touch with and love very much. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so common for people to be in these relationships to where they feel like they're stuck, and then, you know, they could be a narcissist. Not that he was, but there's so many factors going on, and eventually it explodes. And it sounds like when it exploded for you is when you got arrested. So where were you at when?
I was in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, and when I did meet up with the officers, because when they wanted to speak with me, I went and met up with them and told them, I really didn't have the information they wanted for someone. Then they told me, well, then you're going to be arrested. And I said, well, for what? What? I wasn't there doing what they were doing. And they said, well, you knew, you didn't tell.
Goodness gracious.
So
20 years?
Yeah. So here's what happens.
Okay.
Whatever the kingpin did, whatever amount of drugs that kingpin had or he sold, you are held accountable for. The weight of the crime.
What kind of drugs was it?
It was methamphetamine. So whatever he did, you're held accountable for. It doesn't matter that you never sold a drug. It doesn't matter that you were not there and part of that process with them or profiting from that. You're held accountable. And that's what happened. So I thought it doesn't matter that there was never any paraphernalia in my home. Like when they came looking in my home, there's nothing there. It doesn't matter. I was never caught selling drugs or anything like that. It does not matter. So I was very naive to the law, which that doesn't matter either. And I went to trial. And
what evidence did they show? Like, oh yeah, she gave, here's a recording.
Heard a conversation. She knew what he was doing.
And you admitted that? You said, oh, I knew what he was doing, or did you kind of just...
I didn't know everything that he was doing. I wasn't with him everywhere he went or knew everything that he was doing, or did I didn't want him to be doing what he was doing, but I can't say I knew everything he was doing.
Right.
But in hindsight, when you think back, is knowing really guilt? Is knowing, and you decide you don't, you say, I don't want to be a part of that, and you leave. Does that make you guilty? In the federal system, it does. Because you don't have to commit an overt act in the federal system. Mere knowledge infers guilt. So
yeah. And y'all weren't married, because if you were married, I don't think that they could make you
I think they'd
try to testify.
I think they can find a way to do whatever they want.
Right. Well, yeah. Wow. That's so
and
crazy.
Did I try, lie to protect him? Like, if somebody did I want to tell on him and get him in trouble? No, I really wanted him to get his life together. I wanted him to be healthy. I wanted him to be okay. Yeah. I didn't want to see him have anything bad happen to him.
Sure, yeah. No. Well, you have this loyalty and you don't want to turn your loved one in, and maybe it's enabling to a certain extent, but at the same time you loved him. Yeah. I mean, who wants to say, okay, well, we spent all this time together, but good luck. You know what I mean? Wow. How long was your trial?
A week. Maybe about a week.
So it was a jury type thing, and then was it unanimous? They said, yep.
Yeah.
Loretta, guilty.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
And
then mere knowledge infers guilt. So yes.
Wow.
That's guilty in the federal system. That's just the way it is. And if the percentage of cases that are won in the federal system are low. Like they, very few cases.
So it's federal court. So yeah, basically there's no rebuttal, from your lawyer. It's just people get up, kind of state.
Yeah, my lawyer, of course, there was rebuttal from him, and appeals were, done. And
so that happens. You find out you're guilty, and then do you remember that feeling of like, well, what now? Or like, I'm like, what were you feeling at the time?
At the time, they gave me time to get my life together, get things in order because I had a son. And so they gave me a little time to do that before I went and got sentenced. And during that time, it was shock. It was almost like the stages of grief, shock, sadness, what am I facing here? What's going to happen? And loss. How's my son going to be taken care of?
How old was he?
He was 16 at the time.
Oh, man.
So it was terrible. And you think of all kinds of things. Like people would say, why don't you run away? That thought might cross your mind, but no, you can't run away. You can't hide from the federal government. You can't hide. And why don't you just off yourself? Well, you can't do that. But you do have all these thoughts go through your mind. And finally, I just started having a little faith in God, just a little bit of faith. That's all it takes. And thinking, well, you know what? God's got me through a lot of things and saved my life already in terrible situations. And I'm just going to give it to God. And when I did get sentenced, an officer came down into the cell, a young officer, and he said, I hear the judge wasn't very nice to you. And I said, no, he wasn't very nice to me, but it's okay. He gave me 20 years, but I'm not going to do it. And I just had it in my heart, the belief that this just wasn't going to happen. God's not going to let it happen. And I'm just going to find something positive every day. I don't care what it is. I'm going to find something to be positive about every day. And that's what I did.
Where was the prison?
Philadelphia was the first place. Before you are designated to a prison, you're held in different jails where they have contracts to hold federal prisoners. And so the first place was in Philadelphia. And one of the first places when I had to self-surrender, they kept me overnight in a place called the Roundhouse. Anybody in Philadelphia, I'm sure you remember what the Roundhouse was. It was kind of like a round building, and it was filthy, nasty, dirty, and it was cold out. I remember that. And there were electrical wires hanging. The toilet was nasty, dirty. I mean, it was a metal slab bed, and they put me in there with another girl. She was Spanish, and she didn't really speak good English. And I had a long leather coat, and she was cold, and she was scared and everything. So I gave her my coat, and I sat there with her and told her it's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And then they brought another girl in. She was totally drunk and obnoxious. And
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, totally. And I told her, just, keep it down. She was saying obscenities, things, to the officers. Well, at one point they took her back way down into another cell. And when she came back, it looked like she got hit.
Oh, wow.
To me.
Sure.
And she was more quiet. And then one officer said to me, "Oh, you're not gonna be like her, huh?" I said, "No." Like, I don't remember the exact words, but the insinuation was,
"We're gonna beat you.
You're not gonna you know, you don't want what she got. Whatever happened back there, I don't know. I didn't know if there was a scuffle. Did she rebel or whatever? I don't know what happened. I just know she came back looking a little bit different.
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, she could have fought and they slammed her. Or who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So I'm not going to say. I just know.
And that, there are cases of that happening, like, reprimands. Obviously, every prison's different, but rough place.
And this was back in 1994. So a lot of things have changed since then.
Oh, yeah. That was the dark times.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have, all the cameras and technology that you have. And wow. So what's the system in prison? Like 3 hots and a cot? Like, what is it? Do you have 23-1 while you're there? Like you're locked up for 23 hours or? When
you are like this, you're just locked up and a bag lunch, a bologna sandwich and some nasty tea. And in the other prison, after there, they send you to different places. So another place I was in, I tell about that in my book. That was also in Philadelphia. I was there for like 8 months. So when you're in that prison, they really don't mess with you much when you're a federal prisoner and you're going to, they know you have 20 years. They're not going to mess with you much.
Right.
And I met all kinds of people, and I tell the stories in my book about the different women that I met. And you just see so much sorrow there with all these different young girls that would come in and out. There was one I talk about in my book who came in and out 5 times while I was there. The first time she was 18, really sweet, and we'd talk, and she had a lot of hope that she would go out and better her life. And each time she came back, she was a little bit harder,
It's like a callus.
Yeah. But there you get to come out into a day room and you get to take a shower. You have 10 minutes to eat the food.
And they give you crappy tea? They don't give you water?
Yeah, it's like some kind of brown tea thing. And I actually didn't have a cup. And so one girl gave me this cup from this hair straightener, a container, and I used that for a cup. Cleaned it out, used it for a cup. There. And they ship you to different places. And everywhere you go, whether you've been in one place for 3 months and you've had a TB test, they're going to test you again. And you're always going to get the strip search, the lice bath.
Tuberculosis, TB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll always check you for that. And always the lice bath, the lice shampoo.
Which burns.
If you're shy about your body and everything, you'll learn to turn that off, because it is humiliating to be strip searched and bend, squat, cough. Let me look in your mouth. Let me look in your hair. Get in the shower. Here's the lice shampoo. You kind of get used to it.
I mean, it's like you're falsely convicted.
Well,
I mean, essentially, you were, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not going to say totally falsely because of what the federal law states.
Right.
The conspiracy law itself. I do think that conspiracy law needs to change. In the state, you have to commit an overt act to be a part of a conspiracy. And I just, the whole thing of being held accountable for something a kingpin did is wrong.
I've got to look into this. This is terrifying.
Look at now,
movie, granted, I don't know a kingpin or anyone selling drugs, but at the same time,
you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't even have to know. You do not have to know the person. You can be a little person, but you're part of a big conspiracy. If say you're a little person, you're a user and you go purchase drugs off of somebody, but they're being watched because somebody above them told on them. And then somebody above them told on them that was a kingpin. It's like a domino effect that rolls downhill. You can be held accountable for everything that kingpin did. It's how you are sentenced in the federal system. And if you watch the movie Guilt by Association, which was one of the first court TV movies that came out, it explains it very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. That'll be my evening family movie.
I would have brought you a copy. I should have brought you a copy. I usually give them out.
I'm sure I can find it somewhere. All right. So how long were you at that first location?
Overnight at the place called the Roundhouse, 8 months in the place in Philly, then designated to Alderson, West Virginia.
What year was that?
1994.
1994, Alderson, West Virginia. So were you a regular transient of West Virginia, or is that the first time that you kind of...
That was the first time I was ever in West Virginia.
What a welcome.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I only ever flew one time. And so they had to fly us out, and they chain you. They put a chain around your waist. You're chained. You're shackled. You feel like an axe murderer. I thought, oh my God, I feel like an axe murderer or something. And
did you ever embrace it? Like get some jailhouse tats? Like, I'm going to be okay.
No, nope.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I would not
I didn't embrace it like that.
Right. I got you. You were more of you were the glass half full or the tea half full in the prison.
Yeah, I really was. So the girl I sat next to, there was like a little jet, and there were like 8 of us, I think, on this jet. And the girl I sat next to had a probation violation. She was going back to Alderson, and she was telling me about it. I said, well, what if this plane crashes? We're all chained up. And then I thought to myself, well, if the plane crashes, we're dead anyway. Don't worry about it. But anyway, she told me all about Alderson and what to expect there.
What a light conversation.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how you doing? Like, you ever think about what happens if we crash and we're chained?
Yeah.
Wow.
But as I looked out the window and I started to see the beautiful landscape of West Virginia, the mountains, it's so beautiful. I thought, oh my God. Because 8 months only seeing cement, and now I'm seeing all this beauty. And I thought, wow, maybe this is going to be better, And when I got to Alderson, and the first thing I did was when they processed me, I went out and took my shoe off and put my feet in the grass because I wanted to feel grass, and I picked it up and smelled it. And I love crows. I just love crows because they mate for life. They're loyal and all that. And I heard a crow cawing from a branch right near me. And I thought, I took this all as a good omen, everything's going to be okay.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crows are smart too.
They're so smart. I always loved them.
Yeah. So you went to Camp Cupcake? Is that the place? I think that's where Martha Stewart went, right?
She did.
I think they call it Camp Cupcake. Of course, that was after you were there.
Yeah. Well, they called it that at times when I was there. When I first got there, you could have your own clothing. You could have 30 pieces of your own clothing. You could actually I was able to get my guitar sent to me.
Nice.
And
you have an angelic voice, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you. So, I got to teach guitar there, beginner guitar. You got to walk around the area. It kind of looked like a college campus. There were rules, of course. You had to sign in and sign out. You had to work. I worked in a garment factory, a sewing factory, and I made the highest rate. You can make like 5 cents an hour.
Lord, yeah, son.
5 cents a piece or whatever.
Right.
But I actually worked my way up to $1.25 an hour.
Oh, so you get raises?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Depending on what you do.
Right.
What thing you do in that sewing line. And I became a grade 1, like you're graded.
Wow. The whole system.
Yeah.
What was you making?
$1.25 an hour. I think.
Well, I mean, like,
I should have brought you a pay stub. I actually have one.
Oh, nice. I mean, like, what were you physically making? Like stamping license plates?
We were making the big mail bags, those huge mail bags. I used to close them, flip them, and slide them out on the floor. And then we started making like surgical pants, white men's pants, army jackets, different things for the Army, nightgowns for the VA, pajamas, and things like that.
Wow. So they let you use sewing machines, or is there rules? Like you can't, you have to check out the needles. You have to sign
check
out
out the scissors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to sign your name.
Yeah, you have a chit. There's like a tool room, and it's screened and locked, and there's a chit when you take your nipping scissors or whatever. Yeah.
So women's prison, was there a lot of fights or anything? Or what did people generally like, we all got to be around each other. Let's play some cards and kind of chill.
I didn't see a lot of fights. There were groups of people, different groups that kind of stuck together. But I didn't see a lot of fights. I saw a lot of every now and then bitchiness, if I can say that.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it is all women, so
it is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes. But I did not see a lot of fights, and for real,
that's good.
The majority, you're in this place, and it's pretty lax compared to a maximum security place or something like that. So you don't want to mess it up because then you're gone, So I did not really see a lot of fights.
Yeah. Was it a similar system there? Like, did you usually have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time every day? Or just how much time did you get outside?
You had to be you had to go to work. So there's a count clear whistle that'll blow, and you have to be counted. And if you're asked to say your number, you have to say your number. You have to be standing. You have to be quiet. So at 4:00 count, you better be standing. You better be quiet. And your door, everybody has a door. Your door better be open. And once that whistle blows and counts clear, then the cottages would go to the cafeteria for dinner. Or in the morning when the count's clear, you would go out to get breakfast and go to work.
Cottages.
In Alderson, there's cottages.
That's why it's Camp Cupcake. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. It kind of looked like a college campus. No longer is it like that. Those cottages are closed, but they're very historical. So I don't think they can do anything with them. Now they're great big buildings that house I think 250 at least in one building. But back then there were cottages, and each, when you go into the room, there's a set of bunk beds. There's a window. You can actually open a window and have fresh air.
Nice.
And there's a dresser, and was there a desk there? No, just a dresser and lockers to put your stuff in. But everywhere, there's rules, and people call it, Camp Cupcake. Oh, they have a good. No, you're treated humanely, as we all should be treated humanely.
Oh, yeah.
And prison is prison. You can't go home to see your children. You're there for years. You can't, you can make phone calls if you have money. If you have family to send you money, there's some women in there that only make 23 cents an hour if they're lucky, or 15 cleaning the cottage or whatever they're doing. So being there, being away from your family, that's that's the true punishment.
Yeah. It sounds like Hawks Nest State Park. You just can't leave. And there's no vending machines. But, and now, of course that's a joke. But so how does money work? You can spend it while you're there. I always thought that they just keep it in an account, and then when you leave, you can take it.
Your money's in an account, and you can get rolls of quarters, and there's like vending machines. Especially if you get a visit, you can go to the vending machine and get things out of it. but your money is an account, and then you can go to commissary on your commissary day, and you can buy things at
Can you invest it in the stock market? So when you get out?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can send money home.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess in theory you could have someone do that for you that you trust, but back then it wasn't as easy to invest in the stock market as it is now. Like you don't have an app you can go on and
no. And you have to remember back then there weren't cell phones.
Yeah.
And when I went in, when I was at home, you go to the gas station, guys pumping your gas. It's not like you have a card. There were no dollar stores and things like that. So things were a lot different. And technology, at the time I was there, technology really changed, really grew. And while I was in there, if you wanted to, like my big thing was writing letters, studying law, trying to file anything I can to try to help myself get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to purchase a ribbon, a typewriter ribbon from the commissary, and on one of those old-fashioned typewriters. That's what I had to use to write all my letters.
Wow. Is that where you wrote your pardon request?
Yeah.
Wow.
I still have a copy of it.
Can I have it? No, I'm kidding.
I don't have it with me.
Okay,
I have it at home.
Okay. Yeah. You keep that. Oh, that's incredible. How long were you there?
From 1994.
So that was 8 months, and then you went there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until January 21st, President Clinton's last day of office.
What would that have been? So of 2001?
Yes.
Wow. So 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, 9 years.
Which the book says 6.5, but it was really
ish. I mean,
7.
Goodness.
But before all this, I spent a year on house arrest. I could go to work and everything, and I wore an ankle monitor too. But
see, that's what I was thinking. Like, why can't you do something like that? You know, if anything, I like if the law works like that, that is first terrifying. Second, we got to change that. That's crazy.
The conspiracy law is like a no-win law. You can't beat that law. I'll tell you what, they say you can't fight City Hall. Sometimes you just can't fight City Hall. I learned that the hard way. I fought the law and the law won. You know that old song?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we all want to, and we want to fight and change things. And if I could change anything, I would say change that conspiracy law. Tailor it so that it's like state law, where an overt act has to been committed to facilitate that, whatever's going on. But the best thing I've come to realize, the best thing is to educate and to help young people understand that they need not make these bad choices or misplace their loyalties or get involved. Like you see somebody involved with something, get away from them. You know, don't stick around.
Yeah.
Go while the getting's good. And the FAM organization is wonderful organization that started while I was in there. I became aware of it because we would get a FAM-gram. It was actually a paper form telling us about law, telling about what they're trying to do to change law and to help people. And they asked for people's stories. And so I sent mine to them. And they also help. They're probably the reason that I gained my freedom. That and filing for the pardon too. But them, because they sent a list of, people to the president. And thankfully, the president granted myself and several others their freedom.
Wow. Which we'll get into. I hate to ask, can you hit the silent on the phone? We got to either hit the silent or we take a shot of liquor. That's the studio rules. And I'm all out of liquor. So I don't want to bring up bad habits.
No, we don't want to.
Especially when...
This Apple Watch.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a beautiful chime, but yeah, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I love the bag, by the way.
Thank you.
So, who was your typical letters to? Were you writing like your family, legal teams, all of the above?
All the above.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the above. I would, of course, my attorney sadly passed away not long after he filed my appeal, and I lost my appeal. He passed away after that. And so Washington and Lee School of Law actually comes to the prison. It did back then.
Mm-hmm.
And these students would help you, try to help you with your case to file appeals or whatever. And I actually had help from them. And the professor of Washington and Lee, actually, one of them came and was helping me. And he sadly passed away. So I had my attorney pass away. I had him pass away. It's like I felt doomed. But I wrote to everyone I could. It didn't matter. I wrote to my judge. Just anyone I could think of, any organization, any newspaper. I wanted people to know that this is happening. That the minor participant is getting the majority of time, rotting away. These women are rotting away here. Not just women, men too,
So there's still people in the system right now with a similar situation.
Yeah.
Across the
Oh, yeah, I'm
state.
sure. But the majority of people don't go to trial. Very few people go to trial. People realize that it's worthless trial.
Man, that's so disheartening. Well, old Bill was in office, thankfully. What did you, when did you write? Did you write a couple letters to President Clinton, or?
It's actually a form. It's a legal document that you have to fill out and apply for a pardon. And so I sent it in to the pardon attorney. And I was waiting to get a response. And it's, months had gone by, and I thought, I'm going to go up to my case manager and see if there's been any correspondence back. And when I went up to see him, and he said, they always call my last name is Fish. He just said, "Oh, little fishy, you're not going anywhere. You're not getting out of here." And I said, "Well, you never know. Did I get a letter?" And he looked and he said, he showed me this letter saying that they had received my case and they were, evaluating. It was very short. And I said, "Can I have that?" And he said, "No, you can't. I have to keep it in your file." He said, "But everybody gets one of these." And I said, "Well, can I just have a copy of it?" And he gave me a copy of it. And I write about that in a book. And
how motivating.
Yeah. So I took that copy. And when I went out of there, I thought, I was so excited and hopeful. And I thought, I'm not going to tell anyone because I don't want anyone to know, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings in case they tried to file for a pardon and they didn't get a letter. It would be rude of me to say, "Hey, I got a letter," and "Hey, I filed, but I didn't." I would not do that. So I didn't tell anyone. I folded up and put it in my Bible, and I just prayed on it.
No.
And that New Year, that January, that New Year's, at midnight, I snuck out of my dorm and I went on a fire escape, and I prayed to God to please give me my freedom. I know so many people are, asking for freedom in my position, but I said, "God, please, I know I don't have a right to ask, but I can't help but ask. Can I please go home?" And 20 days later, God answered that prayer and I went home.
Wow. When you got that, what is the letter like? "Hey, congratulations." Like, what's the letter you get?
What happened was there was another girl there, and she had a wonderful family who got her an attorney and really were advocating for her. And I didn't have anybody advocating for me. I didn't have anyone. And so she also played guitar. She was part of the band, and she came down that day and she said, "Loretta, I want to give you these guitar strings to hide," because they were contraband. And because the minute that the strings all broke on our guitars, they were going to take them away. So she had a way to get strings in. And she said, so I'm bringing you these strings because I want you to take them and hide them. And so you'll have strings for the guitar. And I said, why are you giving them to me? She said, because I'm going home today. I said, what do you mean? She said, my name's on the list. I said, what list? She said, there's a list. She said, and I'm going to be going home. My mom told me. And I said, can you please ask your mom to look on the list and see if my name's on the list? And she said, my mom's really really beside herself, really busy. And I don't know if she can. Right. And also she's kind of made me feel like my hope was not valid because I didn't really have a high-priced attorney helping me or anybody. And I did everything on my own. And so I kind of felt sad. So I thought, well, I'm going to go up and just play guitar. That's what I did when I felt sad. And so I went up to the rec and there were people in there playing already. And I thought, well, I don't want to be around anyone. I'm just going to hide the strings and go back down. And when I came out to go back down, a girl that I knew was out there smiling. And she said, Loretta, you're just who I'm looking for. I want you to come down with me. I said, come down where? Down the hill. We're going back down. I said, why? Are you going to tell me? And she said, no, I'm not going to tell you. And I thought, this is strange. And then she whispered something to another girl, and that girl came over and hugged me and just looked at me, and I didn't want to say anything. I thought, this is really weird. What is going on? And I thought, I always think the worst. So I thought, oh my God, did something happen to my son? And they're afraid to tell me? What is it? Mm-hmm. And so when we got to the bottom of the hill, that other girl came out. She was on the porch. She said, Loretta, your name's on the list. And I said, I don't believe it. I'm going to go in there and look and ask. So I just couldn't believe that my name could be on that list. And so I went in, and the one officer was standing there with a paper. He kind of looked like he saw a ghost. He was pretty pale, I must say.
He was proven wrong. Was it the same guy?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, that'd be awesome.
No, this was at the prison. He just looked very surprised. And I asked him, I said, do you know anything about a list with names on and people going home? And he just looked at me and bent it. And I could see my name highlighted along with her name. And then the lady behind the bubble, that's where they get all the calls. They call it the bubble. She said, pack it up. You're out of here. So I ran back and I gave everything away except for my legal papers and the clothes on my back. Everything, a contraband pink blanket that I had, right? And a pair of gold earrings, because you're allowed one pair of earrings, one gold cross. I kept my gold cross. And just whatever, I was in shock. And the sad thing was I had nowhere to go. I didn't know what to do. I had nowhere to go. And I called my sister, and it just wasn't a good situation for me to go there. So I called a friend, which I talk about in the book, and that's where I did go. But
thank goodness.
It was shocking. It was like winning the $1 billion lottery, because your freedom is priceless. Whew. And to lose it is one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. And then to regain it like that, I don't ever have to win anything again. That was it.
May take a $10 scratch off every now and then. Come on.
I'll give it away.
Yeah, give it away. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is a weird question, but did you have a moment? You said it was kind of scary because you weren't sure what to do. Did you ever have a moment of like, well, maybe I should stay a little longer? Until I figure out.
It was a terrible snowstorm, and they were bringing me to Beckley to a bus stop because I was going to have to stay in a hotel and take a bus. And it was a terrible snowstorm, and they had an inmate driver, and she ran off the freaking road, like on 64 there.
Oh no.
Slid. And I said, oh my God, you're going to kill me on my first day of freedom. Just take me back. Take me back. And she did. She took me. We had to go back because she couldn't make it. And they didn't know what to do with me.
How
And
awful.
I go to them, just let me stay here tonight. It's so bad. The roads are so bad. Just let me stay here. And you can't stay here. You're free. You can't stay.
Yeah, like we can't allocate the money to take care of you anymore.
Yeah.
You have to leave.
I had to go.
Wow.
Yeah. So then 2 officers had to take me back.
Where'd you go? Where was the first place you stayed? A hotel?
A hotel somewhere in Beckley,
Mm.
near where you would go to get a bus stop.
Okay.
Back in '94, it was
So
a little hotel.
I think there's a bus stop
It
down
might have
middle
been
town.
somewhere around, not far from here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. So you move in with your friend. It sounds like a saving grace angel on earth. That
She is. Her name is Rita, and she allows me to mention her name, Rita and Ed. Her and her husband, they were amazing to me. Like Rita would go, I'd come home and I'd look on my bed. That's after I got a job there. And there'd be something, piece of clothes, new with a tag. And I'd say, Rita, what is this? She said, I didn't like it. But she just helped me so much. I can't even just lose words trying to find everything she did for me.
Shout out Rita and Ed.
Yeah.
Are they still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boys.
Yep.
Well, thank you all. You're one of those people you meet and you're like, there's just this warm presence, but you can't really, you hide the trauma you've been through really well. You know what I mean? Like you can't really tell that you went through all this, but how did you start to climb back?
In my life?
Yeah, which to what people would call successful, which what I call successful is just being able to pay your bills and live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when I first got home, of course, there were newspaper articles about me, front page newspaper articles. And I did an interview on CNN News. And it was very difficult to climb back. But I did get a job in a garment factory since I knew how to sew.
Nice. They counted that on the resume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put that on the resume.
Let's
and
go.
They were wonderful. There was an attorney there that worked there and he really gave me an opportunity. So I started out as they call it a floor walker, bundle girl, where you're going to make sure and deliver bundles in the line and stuff and supply everybody. Manufacturing Alfred Dunner apparel is what this factory did. So you start from the minimal thing and work your way up with the piece, and the garments go down the line to the different operators. Well, I ended up being an assistant manager because in prison, when you're making piece rate and your machine breaks, I wouldn't wait. There was a girl that could do the mechanical work, but there was only one. So if you want to get going, you better figure out how to fix that machine. So I'm pretty handy, and I fix my machine and get going. And so I could actually work on machines, and I'm very adept at sewing. I'm very good at sewing, actually. And so I had that job for a while, and that's how I started putting my life back together. And while I was in prison, I met my husband.
Nice.
My husband was actually my counselor in prison.
Nice. I love this. Y'all, is he still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
He's
go.
my husband. He's
okay,
great.
perfect.
He's the guy who made you that back scratch.
Oh, yeah. Y'all, check this out. Look at this back scratcher. If this is not the most Appalachian back scratcher I've ever seen. What is this, a walnut?
It's a walnut.
Okay, yeah. So it's a walnut, and then oh yeah, this is going right by the television. Thank you.
Yeah.
So much. Well, what's his name?
His name is Werner Liegel.
Shout out Werner. My man.
Werner Liegel has an amazing story.
What a good counselor name. Werner Liegel.
I know it's legal, and it's legal to be me now.
It's perfect.
So Werner actually was born in Germany. He was the son of an American soldier whom he did not know. And his mother, unfortunately, could not care for him as a child when he was born, and gave him to the care, put him in the care of this elderly couple. While the lady died, they ended up putting him in a Catholic orphanage where he stayed, raised by nuns till he was 12 years old.
Wow.
And
my backstory is so boring. Like, this is incredible.
When he was 12 years old, his birth mother came to the orphanage because she had met another American soldier that she married, and she got him out and brought him to America, to Illinois. This is a kid who could speak no English. He had to learn English over the summer in order to go to school. When his mother gave him lunch money at 12 years old, instead of using the money to buy lunch, he got a job washing dishes. And he saved the money. I mean, he amazes me. This man is so amazing. He worked in the fields, picking soybeans, baling hay as a kid, all summer long. All he has done all his life is work. And as far as animosity toward his mother, because of the years of being in that orphanage, he has never showed her any animosity. He loved his mother. He'd call her every Sunday. He'd go visit her. She did pass away. But he's just such an amazing human being. And in prison, as being a counselor, you have the ability to give women a free call home. I can't tell you how many women he gave calls home to that weren't even on his caseload, that would come down to him and give him their story, and he'd give them a call home.
Oh.
Because his belief is, I'm not here to punish anybody. You know, they're the punishment, they're here, they're away from their families. I'm not here to punish them. I'm here to help them get through. So he was wonderful. And I used to always have to make copies of my case, all my paperwork to send out. And I was always shipping stuff out somewhere. He'd always let me, make the copies. And just a great human being. So when I got out of prison, he retired. We were able to be together, and we've been together ever since.
Well, that is just too precious. Obviously, it's weird how things like that work out, because if you didn't go to prison,
I would have never met him.
You would have never met him,
I know.
Like, obviously, I wish you didn't go, but at the same time, look at what you've turned it into.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And a lot of times in my life, I believe in God. I'm a sinner. Believe me, I'm no holy roller girl here.
Shout out.
I am a sinner, and I'm human. I've made mistakes. I have a lot of scars inside. You can't see them, but they're in there. But I believe that if you just start, just be kind to your fellow man, and you just start to try to do what God wants you to do. Oh, wow, does he ever bless you? Even in prison, just being kind to the girls that I met, just trying to be helpful, just trying to be thankful for something. And I talk about my mom as a kid, where she parked one day in front of a hospital where all these disabled kids were sitting out in wheelchairs. And we were giving her a hard time in a car, and she pulled over and the windows were open, and she said, all of you shut up and look over there. Look over there. And we just look, and she wouldn't leave. She wanted us to see all these kids in wheelchairs that couldn't get out and play, couldn't be enjoying the nice day, couldn't be going for an ice cream. And it was such a lesson, and if you can you can't change the world, but you can change one person's world with a kind act,
Oh, yeah. Well, imagine if everyone changed one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow. And I do that too. Like my daughter's 11 and we've been blessed to give her a good life. And at the same time, I think that with pressure comes diamonds a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
So I try to maintain that perspective with her of like, you have it good, but don't act like it and be grateful for it.
Oh, yeah.
And try to, pay it forward. Now, she's a great kid. I think everything's going to work out just fine. But I know it helped. It helped me with my parents being divorced and kind of not really struggling, but kind of not having, a choice other than to pay my own car payment. You know what I mean? But I think it's possible to still give a kid those values without having to go through all that, But that's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful way to look at it. And at the same time, the kids in those wheelchairs, they have the perspective of, but I have this, I may not have this, but I have this. That's what I'm going to try and do my entire life, as diabetes kicks in, you never know where you're going to go, but I'm just going to be grateful for today and try to do the right thing, Whew, my goodness. All right. So when did you pick up a guitar? Let's talk about that part of your life. How did music get involved?
When I was my father played piano, my father sang. My father was 64, my mother was 26 when they got married. My dad was born in 1884, which is unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years after the Civil War.
That's right.
Or that's wow.
I'm not 105.
No, yeah. I mean, you look, I don't know, 48.
No,
How old are you?
I'm not.
We don't have to dox ages, but you look great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But so they divorced, of course, when I was young, and when I was about, I'd say 12, 13 years old, that would be the time I picked up a guitar. But before that, I played the organ. I had a little chord organ, and my mom would sing when she made dinner, and I'd play it. And my father taught me how to play the piano, how to read music. When I was a kid, everybody on his side played piano, which I had a melting pot of life. My father was wealthy. My mom and I and my siblings, we lived in a row home near Projects, which was one of the properties he owned. And so I saw all sides of life. And, but anyway, I picked the guitar up and I started writing too. I would write little songs and poems. And I found that as my outlet, from a young age. So
beautiful. How many songs have you wrote over the years? A billion.
A lot.
1 billion songs.
I have a bin full of stuff I've written.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, 6 years at Camp Cupcake. I mean, that's like you could have wrote the Beatles discography.
I wrote a lot. I put some things in that book.
Yeah. Beautiful. How can people hear your music?
You can go on Spotify. There's a song I wrote, Life is Hard, and I wrote it the day I lost my appeal because my family, due to the tragedy of losing my sister and our family being scattered and just different things, our family was pretty dysfunctional. And I kind of always felt like I was the glue, like try to glue everybody together, keep us together. And so when I lost that appeal, I just wrote that song about my family. Life is hard and it's kind of sad and depressing. And I just felt like, I'm never going to be able to get out of here to do anything, to help anybody. And a lot of times I didn't know where my son was. And that's the worst part.
Oh, yeah. I imagine.
Of it all. But on Spotify, I have that song. And the things I'm writing, right now, I'm working on another book. So I'm several chapters in. And I eventually want to I have a whole bin full of stuff I wrote. I eventually want to take that out and maybe compile it and put it in a book. So.
That'll be beautiful. One more thing on that pardon. So did you ever meet President Clinton? Like, was he ever like, "Hey, Loretta"?
No, he never.
It's very nice to meet you. Yeah, you're welcome.
He never did reach out to me. But if you remember, he did come to Beckley, West Virginia.
Did he?
Yes. To the, is that called the convention center? What's that center?
Raleigh County Convention Center, I think. Is
right
what it's
here. Is it Eisenhower Road?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. When Hillary was running for president, he actually came here to speak. And is that what
I'm bringing it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm not sure where he's at, but carry on.
I got to meet him. What I did was I brought one of the newspapers along where my picture's on the front page, and I was holding it up.
Wow.
And one of his
here's him speaking at Beckley in the Raleigh County Convention Center.
Yeah. So I had the newspaper, I kept holding it up, and when he was done speaking, I went up, and a lot of people did, wanted to meet him. And one of the Secret Service people took the newspaper and took it back to him and came back out and told me that, yes, I could come back and meet him. So I went back, and when I got to speak with him, I told him, he gave me a hug, and I said, I want to thank you for doing something that was not politically correct, but morally right. And thank you for your great compassion. And I want you to know that what you did was not in vain. I have never had not even a speeding ticket. I have become a nurse, and I am living a good life, and I am, I forgot what else I said to him. But anyway, as I was thanking him, he just kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. He was thanking me. And I just couldn't understand, why is he thanking me? I also told him, I said, I was dead and you gave me back my life.
Oh, wow.
And in a way, I was dead. When you take your freedom, when your freedom's gone, it's like being dead,
Sure.
And so,
well, it's probably good, which typically presidents do this at the end of their term. They fire off a bunch of pardons and before they leave. And I don't know how many backstories they actually hear. So it must be pretty cool, for him to be like, oh, hey, we did a good job right there. That's my impression. I can't do too good at it. But how surreal, crazy? I don't know. It's just so unique. And you said you was a nurse. I never did ask, what type of nursing? I'm
a registered nurse. So gotcha. West Virginia. Before all this happened, I was a CNA in Pennsylvania, and I did want to go to nursing school. In the movie, they'll show, me as a nurse, but I was preparing. I wanted to go to nursing school, but I was a CNA. But here, going to college, getting my prerequisites, telling my story to the board. You have to explain everything. So I reveal everything, explain everything to them. And, it's case by case whether they will grant you the right to become a nurse. And they actually embraced me. This whole state of West Virginia, from the time I came here, the people that I've met have been so wonderful and loving to me, and have embraced me and have believed in me and given me opportunities that I never in my life thought I'd ever have. Mm-hmm. It's like all my dreams have come true here in West Virginia.
Put it on a tourism catalog and say, hey, not only can you get presidentially pardoned, you can have a beautiful life after,
Yeah.
like some kind of advertisement. That's so incredible.
And I'm not sure that could have happened in another, I don't know, but I just know that here, everywhere I've been, everything I've done, the people are just so wonderful.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. And you got your crazies everywhere you go, but West Virginia gets a lot of flack nationally sometimes, but I will always say it's one of the most welcoming states. Even though we may not appear to be, it's one of the most welcoming states out there for sure. Craziest nursing story. I'm sure you have a bunch. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, I kind of enjoyed Alderson a little more than this current situation?
Craziest nursing story. Let me think.
Because we have nurses on the show, and they always have good stories.
Crazy. I heard this story. Let's see, about in nursing school, where a nurse couldn't find their patient. Not a nurse. It was a student couldn't find their patient. And I guess their patient had been out in their wheelchair and had gotten out off the unit and got outside. But I don't know.
How long you been on RN?
Since 2014. And before that, I was an LPN.
Wow.
I was an LPN before that.
Okay. What's the difference?
CNA. And a licensed practical nurse works within her scope, and there's certain things that she can't do that a registered nurse can do. Like a licensed practical nurse cannot spike a bag of blood giving a transfusion. You cannot do assessments. An RN has to do that initial assessment, and then a licensed practical nurse can go ahead and provide care. And then there's medications that an RN can give that a licensed practical nurse can't give, like in a code. If we were somebody was coding and I had to administer epi and things like that in a code.
Gotcha.
They can't do.
Yeah, I always, well, that's good you haven't had any crazy experiences. I'll come across videos every now and then in West Virginia of unruly patients and stuff like that. Like there's this one guy that got upset in a local hospital and because he wanted an American nurse or something and I'm like, dude, what are we doing? And he said his sugar was high, and I commented, I said, on behalf of Diabetics Anonymous, we do not claim this person. I just want to let everyone know.
Aww.
But yeah, it's such a needed job, and I'm sure sometimes it gets a little stressful. But someone like you, I'd say it's very rewarding.
I think one thing that West Virginia and the area could benefit from in the medical field is more rehabilitation. We have a lot of poverty, and we have a lot of people that can't find jobs, and people that are struggling with addiction. I don't feel there's enough resources out there. There are resources, but there's just not enough.
Sure.
And I think we could do better in that area to help these people get on their feet, recover. And I've always wanted to go to schools and speak, especially to the age group of like 14 and 15, because I think that's the turning point age. Right before they're going to get old enough to get their license at 16. I just think that is an age where you really need to educate kids about, getting the bad things of getting caught up in something like that. What can happen to them. It's a very vulnerable age.
Sure.
So,
and you was telling me about wanting to record outside. I know someone listening can help line this up.
I do.
Yeah.
I want to take those songs that are and those things that are in my bin, and I want to record outside. And I have a wonderful friend. His name is Gerald Goodson. He is amazing. His whole family is amazing musicians, and so he plays with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Radio WV, if you're listening, let's get this going. We got to get Loretta out there in the hills singing some beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So God is love. You wrote this yourself?
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
It took me a while, which it's such a small book. It seems like there's not a lot there.
No, this is my kind of reading.
Yeah.
But I mean, compared to your life story, I don't think there's a book thickness that could hold.
I didn't put everything in there, but I'm going to put a lot more in. I have for the next book.
Right.
But I knew I was sick, and I was saving writing the book for when I retire. And I'm not yet retired, but I figured I'm going to go for it because I knew I was sick. And I am a nurse, and I knew there was something wrong. And I knew it was probably cancer. And I felt like I had to hurry up and get that out. And I did.
Hold on, you have cancer?
I did, yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Come on, people. Quit dealing the cards out for Loretta here.
It's
what happened?
I had stage 2 cervical and endometrial cancer.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But I'm fine.
Thank goodness.
I went to the University of Virginia, and they helped me. And I had surgery. And actually, Friday, I went for a checkup, and I don't have to go back now for 6 months.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So did you have like radiation? And
I had surgery and radiation.
how long did that take?
Actually, this past June was a year since my surgery. And then I had targeted radiation, which I only had to take 3 treatments of radiation. Instead of, they recommended 24, 25 total pelvic radiation, but I said no to that and went for the targeted radiation instead.
I just had someone on who had the exact same diagnosis, and they beat it, but the radiation has deteriorated her organs, and it's been such a struggle for her, and she's still doing good, but she just had a bad go with radiation. I think that she had, they went a little too hard or something with it, but
did she have the full pelvic radiation?
I think she did. Yeah, I think
that's why I didn't do that.
Yeah, I think they went pretty hard at it, and then she's dealing with some repercussions of that. Yeah. And I didn't realize that happens, but it makes sense. I mean, it's literal like
if you're radiating a large area, you are going to cause damage to that area. Yeah. I mean, and even the targeted radiation, I know on my one hip, I have bone pain a little bit, but it's nothing that I have a high pain tolerance. So it's nothing that I'm going to complain about or worry about. Yeah.
It's all those arm wrestling championships in the yard. He's taking ladies down. But so
not me.
What was the? Listen, I can imagine. But I just imagine you in there like, oh yeah, the Dolly Parton of Alderson in there, just But so, what are the symptoms? Like, what made you know that something's wrong? I like to really talk about cancer a lot on here, so people, if they're listening and they're having some of the similar symptoms, they can.
And one big symptom was if you're having any kind of spotting or bleeding, and you've already been through menopause, that's a big red flag. And some pelvic pain. She really need to go get checked. So I had a wonderful, wonderful OBGYN that I went to who actually did a biopsy right in the office. And she's just great. And it turned out to be cancer. So, and then I went to UVA, and they were wonderful too. My physicians there, the whole team there, they're just amazing. So
go Cavaliers.
Man. Great.
Well, I'm glad that one seemingly has not took up a large part of your life. It seems like you got it handled, so thank goodness.
I've had a lot of things in my life. My first husband was very abusive. I mean, if I haven't had 100 black eyes, I haven't had one.
Oh.
I've already had a gun to my head with the trigger cocked with hollow tip bullets. He was very, very crazy, my first husband. And so I've been through a lot, and there could have been several times that I could have lost my life for real. So wasn't going to let cancer do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That ain't nothing. That's just a Wednesday.
And well, no, God has control of everything. And so I'm very thankful that I'm still here.
I love it. Well, you bring up a good point about domestic violence situations. There's so many cases in Appalachia where people like yourself was with a horrific partner. And, in my opinion, they had something to do with their disappearance. A lot of women are missing. A lot of women have been killed over the years. What advice would you give to someone who's going through that right now on what they should do?
Right now, I will tell you, somebody that loves you is not going to beat you. That is not love. The best thing that you can do, there are battered women's shelters. If you don't have a like for me, my family couldn't even help me. They were afraid of him. Go to a battered women's shelter. Do not fall for, if somebody has slapped you, punched you, choked you, done anything violent to you, do not think for 1 minute they're not going to do it again. Don't believe them. Like he would cry and say, I'll never do this again. No. The problem, and also making you feel like you're the problem. You're not the problem. They're the problem. They have a problem. Get away. Save your life. And a lot of times men will beat you down, these narcissistic type
pieces
men.
of scumbag garbage.
Beat you down and make you think you're worthless. You are of value. Every single human being is of value, and you do not deserve it. I was feeling like he's right. I am worthless. I'm useless. I can't make it out there. What are you going to do if you leave me? How are you going to make it? Look what I do for you. Material things. Material things mean nothing. I walked away with the clothes on my back, my son, and my life. Thank God for my life, because a cocked gun with hollow tip bullets at my head, begging not to shoot me. Thank God I survived that. And all I could think about is that bullet's going to go through my head and shoot my son in the next room who's asleep. So, and plus, to have somebody abusing you in front of your children, they don't need to see that. That's traumatic. And so get out, go to a battered women's shelter. Just get out, save your life.
Yep, for sure. I love it. And, fellas, leave the relationship. Don't be weak. Don't take it out on other people for your weakness. It's, you got a problem and you need to seek help about it. So, Loretta, I'm glad to know you now. Well,
thank you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful the openness of you to share this story. It's a lot and very meaningful. I think people are going to really appreciate this. Where can they buy the book?
The book is on Amazon, or you can message me at lorettafish@yahoo.com. And I will tell you, if you do get the book and you feel that there's somebody that needs that book, needs to read it to help them, I usually get a case of books and I will give them out.
Oh, so nice.
The message is what I want people to get. I want to help people. So that's the whole purpose of that book.
I love it. I guess last question, top music inspirations. Who do you love?
Love Bob Dylan. Like when I was young.
Bob Dylan, that's a good one.
Yeah, when I was young. I mean, what a great writer. John Prine, what a great writer.
Ooh, now, yes.
Janis Joplin. When I was young, I loved to sing her songs.
I tell you, there's a comeback of like really good country music.
Yeah.
You heard of Red Clay Strays?
I love the Red Clay Strays.
I just heard them.
Now, oh my God, I love them.
I heard them the other day and I was like, this is almost too good. Like, I don't know what's going on here. It's insane.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yep. So I'm excited about that discovery. And obviously Tyler Childers, it's very cool. He's from, close to this area.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, awesome, Loretta. Thank you for being here. And back scratchers, can people buy these online? We got the original West Virginia nut scratcher is what this is called.
You can message me. My husband makes them. I always tell him he should sell things. He should make them and sell them. But he always says I have to be inspired to make something.
I love it. Yeah, that's
but
great.
Yeah, you can message me. And
that's where the best things comes from. That.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone else out there. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube if you haven't. We are on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. We do have merch now at creepalachia.shop. So check out, we got some hoodies, we got some hats, all kinds of good stuff. But everyone else, always remember, above all else, long live Appalachia.